us to be active so that I will know if network kicks me out of this call. So if I ask something like, "Can you hear me? Am I speaking?" Just like that, so be quick to unmute and respond. Okay, thank you very much. So we are talking about configuration management, and of course, it's server configuration we're talking about here. Mm. So I would like us to first of all discuss what this thing really means in each general sense, and then bring it down to should I say IT, should I say to the tech world, and then talk about its tools, um, and then um, highlight certain common characteristics, common features of configuration management tool, and then go as far as you can go. I mean, make it let. It's my honest desire that this thing will make sense to us. I mean, we want to appreciate its use of it in real life. What can we do with this thing? Not just talk and talk, not just understand definitions and the meaning of terminology. So I may not focus too much on. It's not my intention to be professional tonight. It's not my. I rather it's my intention to rather communicate, this thing meaningfully. In beneficial to one who will be watching it later. But for us all, I believe, okay, not maybe not all of us, for most of us here, it's something we've passed. So you're coming back to pay attention to it. So what is this thing really about? So see how we can learn more about it or understand something about it. So welcome. What is configuration management? We'll take configuration management. I think I would like to hear from one or two persons at this point. What is configuration management? What do you understand by that term? Someone has to say something now. Someone has to say something. Am I in this call alone? Hello?
We can hear you.
Ah, but I cannot hear you. So configuration management. What are you talking about?
Maybe if you are talking about how we, let me just say it in applications to web server, maybe the way you configure your server or your files, your page, and so on. The settings that you are putting in place. Maybe when it comes to network settings, there's some files you have to like that are specially made for that to configure maybe your network settings, your IP address, domain names and stuffs, or even firewall.
Okay. Okay. So you're talking about the meaning of. Thank you very much. So we'll talk about configuration management. Let's put it in simple English. We're talking about managing configuration, right? It's not really about configuring because you can configure without configuration management tool. But it's about managing it. It's about um, automation, making some things. I mean, doing something once that will solve that problem continually or solve the problem in the future. I mean, it's like writing a function, and then some block of code that you can reuse, right? So we'll talk about first of all, maybe I should take us back a bit to what a server is. Remember that a server itself can be any computer. At some point, we are required to do something like we are required to um, do design some form of web infrastructure, and I believe that most of us here have encountered that project, and we did. Where we have to illustrate what really happens. I'm trying to have this represent the client. What happens when you dial a website? So this is the client, the computer of the client. It does, maybe let's say it does www dot. What am I going to use now? Just Facebook is too much of it to use. Let's say once this is the site, if I take us back a bit, I think it's needful. Let's say it's doing www dot myweb.com. Now remember that by doing this guy is representing some IP address, right? Let's assume we are talking about we are using an instance of a simple web infrastructure right now, assuming there's only one server that is serving this page. We'll say server. What is that server itself? I hope you don't mind that I'm taking us back a bit. I think this knowledge is prerequisite for us to understand what is going on here. So a server can be any computer. Of course, not just any computer. Yeah. So let me say any computer that meets certain specifications depending on the purpose it is meant for, right? So you have different types of server. If you walk into a cyber cafe that is standard, you will discover that there's a particular computer that is like the main computer in the hall or whatever in the place. It's like that computer is the master. It's like more active. It's like that computer can even monitor the other ones to see what is happening. In fact, I've been to the cyber cafes where every computer sends signals to the same computer, sends signals to the printer through the same computer. Like anywhere you can send, you want to print, once you click print, it will come out at the same destination. It will just form a queue. So different types of server, but in our case we are dealing with web servers, right? So a web server can be the web server itself is a program, but the server itself can be virtual, can be a computer that you have with you, right? If my laptop meets the specification, meets the requirements that a server needs to meet, it can become a server. Yes, if I now find a way of having it powered on, 24 hours every day, 7 days per week, throughout the month, throughout the year, and then the what's it called now? The processor, the OS, the operating system that the server needs. By the time it has all these things installed, it has come to the server itself. So the server will now be containing the web server like this. So let me call this big boss the server itself now. So this becomes the server itself. So inside this server is installed the web server. Let me do this. Okay. Maybe I should use a circle to represent the web server. Web server. This is fine. So the web server is a program that has that design that makes it perform the act of serving someone in the meter. You want to say something? Oh, a mistake. Alright, it has. I was talking about the web server. It's a program that is built for that purpose. It's designed for that very purpose of serving static web pages. Oh, say static web pages. What do you mean? You're talking about your HTML document, your HTML document, of course. All of those. Okay. So this guy serves the pages. How does it serve it? The things are saved. The pages are saved here, and then it has an IP address through which anybody can access it. Any client can access the contents here. So it's just like you. I was talking about servers, right? It's a server cafes where you walk into the place, you can share media files between computers. You can just share, my network place, you just share, you can move it. You move. So that's this is you now. You have a website, you want the world to see it. You want to see some information. Remember, World Wide Web, a place where information is shared worldwide. I mean, made available for anyone to access it from anywhere in the world through the internet service provider. Yeah. Okay. So this guy serves the static. There are different programs that can be installed on the server to perform different services. And then we know about the application server. So I want you please give me an example of web server. I want to be sure that I'm with you and you're with me. I'll give an example of a web server.
We have the Apache.
Sorry. Are you the only one in this call? Where are others? Can someone else please talk? Can someone else please talk? Hello? All these names I'm seeing here. Malik is not there yet, so I understand. Maybe I should have done some intro, I know. Okay, do this for me. I kindly post your cohort as click on message. Let me know what is happening. Let me know whether it's cohort 12 that joined this. It's called. Oh, some people have left actually. Okay, go ahead, Samuel, please. Go ahead, Samuel.
Okay, I think we also have the Microsoft Azure web server as well. I also have the
Ubuntu web server.
Yes.
There a web server called Ubuntu. Wow. Okay. Thank you. So we have this guy installed. In the server. This guy is server because it is meant for this purpose, right? And then we have. I mean, if I was building on HTML, if I was building an HTML page on my system, I could easily build on my system. I could just paste the path on my browser, and then it will appear here. But how can somebody else with another computer somewhere else see it? How do I make it available? It's through this lens. Okay, so we have a web server installed, and we have an application server installed. I'm taking it bit by bit, and I am believing that you know this part because this is not even the topic related today, but it concerns it. That's why I went. That's why I'm trying to talk about it because you should have this knowledge before start talking about configuration management. Okay, so your server has an IP address. Let's assume the IP address is IPv4, IP version 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think. Let me know. Let me be careful. I'll go and take the IP address. And without that, I see something. Hope this is not really IP address. So, assuming this is the IP address of this server, will you now go and get a domain name? This thing is gotten from another platform, usually, right? I mean, doesn't matter. It could be from the same platform, depending on what you want to do. But let's assume that you are the one handling your servers by yourself. It's something that you have your own server. So by the time you purchase a domain name, you are saying that computers, this thing, the name of this thing is actually this guy, but we cannot be climbing numbers. All those websites you died, google.com, facebook.com, Amazon, what have you, all the websites. What I mean, they are just names representing IPs. The real thing is the IP. But because we are humans using IPs and storing in our head or writing IPs down on some notes of different websites. That would be really terrible because you can't be doing that. That's why this DNS, came into being, came into existence. So this domain name system help us to excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. That was I. So I was talking about DNS, right? The domain name system. Just a system that makes a name to represent an IP address. Okay, so I won't dial that name. What you're actually dialing is the IP address. And what is the IP address? What is the IP address? Is the address of the place where the information you're looking for is saved, is stored. Making progress. Let me also make some more presentations. As well, we have some content inside here. The static content, which of course will be and the way you build your page will look like. Maybe you have a page, a sign-in page. You have your landing page, your home page. You have a customized error page. The way you want it, you have it there, and then this guy now is linked to it. This web server. Now there are times when they can be on the same server, they can be on different server. I mean, a different server can host the application server, or both can be hosted on the same server. Right, this guy now, this app, okay, I think I don't need to go too deep into this part. I think I explained enough. I just to show one more thing, how that it is through the cloud, through the internet. That this guy is able to query this place. This is the simplest information, simplest way I can explain it. I can explain it for now. And this guy will return a response, right? And this response is what we call HTTP response, right? The HTTP response comes, and when this response is returned, I mean, the ISP, Internet Service Provider, this huge role in this guy. Sorry, I'm not actually using a pen, I'm using my mouse. Laptop mouse for that matter. So manage my handwriting the way you see it. So I meant to write ISP here. So this guy, of course, it goes through several processes before, that sourcing for the IP of the domain name. It goes to the domain name system, checks the error code to see what does this name mean to you, and this one understand that this name means this IP to me, and then you now do the necessary redirection that will take you to this point, and this guy will know that okay, this is what you're asking for. and they will check whether it is safe there and give it back to its, the HTTP response. And if it does not find it, it will send either the default error page, the 404 error page, or the customized one that you put there. Yeah, so different persons now put customized, different platforms put customized error page, 404 error page, as in page not found, sends to it. Okay, I think that's enough, because I think one more thing I want to talk about is how that you can have. Okay, imagine a site as big as Google. As you're talking right now, someone is probably searching Google somewhere. Today, in fact, since you joined ALX, almost every day of your life, if not every day of your life, you use Google. So it's possible that around the clock, Google is being used. One server cannot perform that kind of task. I mean, imagine thousands and millions of requests coming at the same time to the same server. You couldn't do that. So that's why they have a system that makes it possible, makes it possible for the request to be shared among different servers, scattered along the, what word should I use now? I think it's all over the world. Different regions, actually. Different regions, different servers. Now, the question now is, what's the relationship between these servers? Because you request for what you want, you will still get what you want. How come these servers, considering that these servers now, all of them have the same HTML page, they have the same response, they have the same configurations? Well, I am beginning to talk about this right now. Configuration management. That's where it comes in, because you can actually do without these configuration management tools at this level. In fact, at the point where you now have, let's say, 2 servers or 3 servers, you don't want to manually configure, but there are times when you get some faults, you need to do some debugging, something may go wrong, and you be wondering, what's wrong, start looking for it manually is that, and there are times you're not able to keep track of what has been installed and what has not been installed, and which server was this one installed. But even if you're able to, that stress is not worth it. So this configuration management now is the system now that allows you to replicate the settings you have here all over your server. So that your servers will not have the same configurations, the same settings. Assuming you have, let's say, 2 servers. I wish I don't know that I can effectively. I wish I was doing a better drawing tool. And let's go down here. If you just scroll down here. I want to make a beautiful diagram, but just don't mind how rough my diagram is. Assuming you have, let's say, 2 servers here, you want the workload to be distributed among them, so that one server does not get overloaded. Because let's say it's a school size that has thousands of students, it's not really feasible. Can 2 servers serve a whole school? Okay, let's do that for now. So you want to replicate what you have here. There's something called load balancer. In our case, we are asked to use the web server called Nginx. Okay, at some point you have to work with Apache as well. Nginx. So this is the program now. It's just like having a computer. Let me take this again. Having a server is just like having a computer, that's dedicated to do something. Let's let's liken it to having a computer that you use to work in a cyber cafe. But that computer needs to have some software that will make it able to do certain things. So to be able to process documents, you need to have something like uh, a word processor, like Microsoft Word. So you install it there, then you're able to now type, print, format documents, edit documents, create documents, you want it to be. Right? So this server now is a computer that has certain specifications that qualifies it to be a server, including the process system, the processor, and what have you. And then it has a program installed in it. That's software installed in it called Nginx. This is a specific example of a web server. So I'm actually replicating what I have here, but this time I'm giving example. Okay, I think I should stop here. All right. So assuming you have servers like this, something has to there has to be an intermediary between both of them, right? How do I best? And this is limiting me. I wish I have something that could make. Okay. If we draw. Okay. So imagine a scenario where we have one server here and another server here. And you can see you have, let's even say you have, let me keep more complex now. You have more servers here and you have another one, 4 servers. Then you should have something that is able to distribute traffic, the way you want it based on the algorithm you've chosen. Assuming you're saying, okay, distribute the traffic evenly, distribute the requests evenly, the HTTP requests evenly to these 4 servers. That means if you've given this one 2 twice, give this one 1, give this one 1, give this one 1. If you give this one twice, give this one twice, this one twice, this one twice. If it's 1 1, give 1 1. So people can use algorithm that checks on the one that is less busy. Depends on what you want. It all depends on you. Now bring you to a point where I want you to see that there is work. There is good work to do in making these things work the way you want them to work. There is good work to do. So an example of this is hard proxy, the one we are asked to use. That's my test now. All right, hard proxy. HA proxy. I like to call it hard proxy. So let's say this is HA proxy, and of course this is our load balancer. So the name already implies its function. So now your domain name was meant to point to a server, right? How then can it access? Do you need to go out to domain name again and make it point to the 4 servers? How then? How then? So this is where you start appreciating the automation of this process. Let me use this to represent the client. I've got to our page now. Through the internet. This is my internet now. Looking like magical internet. So through the internet to the this guy, and this guy will now choose who to give it to. That is distribute. So you can say this one, give me the request, and this one will bring the request, and send it to this man. So this is what it asks for. This is it. So configuration management tools, you don't need to be doing this is more. You don't need to be doing. You come here after configuring server. Let's say this is server 1. This is server 2. This is server 3. Of course, the load balancer is installed in the server as well. This is server 4. You don't need to come here after configuring this one. You come and configure this one again. If you want to fix something, you want to upgrade configuration tools, configuration management tools help you. Now, I'm going to talk about the benefits of using configuration management tools. And uh, if you want a flyer that I use in inviting you, I named the three popular management tools. Of course, what else that taught me from that document, benefits. Why do we use something? I've already said some already. So it's you can quickly have your configuration automated for a new server or for new servers. Then you can assuming one of these servers crashes, you can quickly recover. Like you don't need to start starting afresh again. You're the one that set it, and while you are setting it, you are busy automating it, putting those things inside a file, something that looks like a bash script, but no, it's not exactly a bash script. Yeah, they are very different actually. But since we all know bash script, I'm using bash script now as an example. So you did something in your system, you now wrote a bash script that will do that something that you did. Okay, assuming you okay, let me take an abstract example without that we are very familiar with. Assuming there's a particular kind of screensaver you like in your phone, a particular kind of settings, a particular kind of ringtone, volume, the level of your backlight or the screen light, the level of the time you want it to go automatically into DND mode, do not disturb mode, and the time the days you want it to go automatically into vibration. I mean, you're like, okay, at this point on these days I'm usually at work at this time, so my phone should not be ringing out, it should be on vibration. I don't want to be setting it by myself. You automate it. You set, after setting those things, you now automate it inside the particular script, such that if you change your phone, all you need to do is to run that script, and that script will make your phone start performing the way your former phone was performing. That's what is happening here. That's something similar, something similar like that. Okay, I told you that tonight I'm not trying to be very professional. I just want to make sure I break this thing down as much as I can. Okay, so I've talked about quick recovery, right? If anything goes wrong, maybe you're trying to upgrade something or add some more features and then it didn't turn out well. Okay, you can go back to where you are. And then I think I need to call my variant now. So excuse me. Because I need to be doing some things practically as well. So while it's loading, I'll just continue what I'm explaining. Alright, so version control is another one. Of course, version control, you know what version control is, right? Where the state of these servers are saved. They are saved somewhere. You you don't want to push them to Git now. You configure a server and now push to Git. That's punishment now. So, but if you rather push the automated file to Git, that's cool. So it is the configuration management tool that is now serving as your version control system, is holding it. So when you now increase the features in your servers, you now update let me call it the script for now, but script is actually not the right word. The different management tools have what they call those files. Like in Puppet, it's called manifest. We use the word manifest and models. Chef has his own way of calling it. Ansible has his own way of referring to those things as well. Okay. Another thing is, like I've said it before, right? I'm trying to replicate your settings in new environment. I've said that before. Now, what is it about configuration management tools? How do we identify them? It's important that you're able to understand what these things are really big mean. For example, we're talking about web server. I went down to give an example. Nginx is one of them. There are several of them. This is a software, this is a program, has the capacity to serve static pages. We talk about application servers. I did not give an example. Can someone give an example of app server? Maybe I'm not alone here. Application server. Maybe. Okay. An example is Apache Tomcat. You know. So I want this guy to represent DB. How am I doing this? I don't need it. I may not need this. What I was doing. So what are those things? How do we identify um, configuration management tools? I mean, what do they have in common? I've learned that there are many of them. Many of them. It's amazing. But you choose the one you want to use based on what you want to achieve, based on what that one is currently offering you. Okay. Now, first of all of them has a framework with which you could carry out automation. Every configuration management tool has a framework, right? If it's should I be listening this in? My body's really getting okay. Benefits of configuration management tools. I'll just do CM tools. Okay, so if you ready, you gave us the first thing on that place on that on this section is that it said it has an automation framework, and by this they mean that it provides you. When we say framework, we're talking about um, uh, an environment, not exactly an environment. Um, Rule of operation. When we say frame, it kind of frame. What's simpler word should I? What can someone help me out? Framework. Only the word framework. Out of tech word, what does framework mean? When we say framework, something skeletal. Why is nobody talking? How am I the only one? How am I the only one talking?
Our plan. Can framework
Plan, make
mean
it.
plan?
Plan sounds like it. But not exactly plan. So, not exactly plan now. It's like okay, it gives you say okay, it's like it gives you, should I say, tools with which you can achieve certain things. It gives you achievable things. It gives you borders within which you can achieve certain things. So it provides, for example, syntax that you can use to do carry out certain operation of your choice, and then certain features too. I mean, some of them work like, in fact, not some of them, most of them, if not all of them, they work like a programming language. They can allow you loop, create a loop. They can allow you check for conditions, the if else kind of things. So that's one thing that all of these or most of these uh, configuration management tools have in common. The next, of course, is how they have idempotent behavior. Idempotent behavior. Now, what does that mean? It means they're able to uh, check the state of the server. Idempotent behavior. So you take the state of the server, they are able to tell when they are not, they don't need to repeat certain this thing. You don't go repeating some task. For example, if you automate your tool to install a web server and put a particular page in it, and also install an application server, and set up certain things, link your back end, things like that. When you've done all of those things, and let's say you now run that manifest, you now use it on a server that has some of these things done already. It will not go and start undoing the one that's been done before or repeating the one that's been done before. It has the capacity to know that, okay, this one is done. This one is done. Let me leave that one and continue other things. And then it's able to have facts about the system. I mean, it makes it um, um, it makes it, you don't need to hard code certain things. If you move it to another system, it will be able to, okay, let me show you something. Let me show you some things. So it's, let me say the capacity to store or fetch system facts. Of course, it does this from a global variable called facts in the system. So your system has variables that are programmed by default to save certain things. Okay, here I am in my in the Linux environment, and if I echo, let's say, I think there's a variable like this called home. Environment variable like this. Let's see, home. Okay, correct. So it's telling me that the home is that variable home. What is inside is this guy now, home/vagrant. If I decide to sign in as the root user now, and I run, if I press arrow up to run that thing, you can see that the previous command I ran is no more the one there. It's another environment I've signed in. Like it's like logging someone out of Facebook and logging in, right? Logging myself in. So if I now die this thing again, if I now enter this command again, I say echo home. You can see now it's telling me that the home is root, because the home of the root user is this root, while the home of this other user is vagrant. So I'm pointing to the fact that this guy I did not create this variable. I can create my own variable here now. I can say, let's call the variable PLD. I can say PLD is equal to my name, Topman. And here we go. So if I say echo the contents of PLD, it's telling that the content of PLD is Topman. I just put the content inside here, but I did not put this one. So automatically it's carrying what is saved here. I mean, if there are a bunch of them. I mean, if you do this, you can see plenty of several of them. See this one? That's a variable called user that tells who is the user that is signed in. Now, if I sign out as the root user and do this again, I'm sure the content will not be root again. That is an environment variable ls_colors, saving the color system, and there is pseudo user, there is what several of them. So this is to show you that your machine, your computer has some inbuilt variables that they are not they have nothing to do with hard coding. They're not holding static They're not holding permanent variables. They are dynamic. They can change. What is contained in them can change depending on the state, depending on the current happenings. So CM tools has the capacity to figure out system facts. They can tell when you have run them in another server that is not the same IP. They can tell, and they even provide placeholders. They even provide, it's like when you're, if you know HTML, when you're trying to create a form and the form has a space for email, you don't want to use ordinary, what's it called now? Input. The tag is input tag. You want to show that this one is email. You want to show that this particular place is this particular place is date. You want to specify. I don't know what I'm communicating right now because this audience is not responding. I don't know what I'm communicating this right now. Who does not know HTML?
Yes, we are getting. We are getting.
How can we be? You're the only one. You're the only one I've been talking since. Where are others? You didn't join now. It is well. Oh. It is well. Okay. I'll just go ahead. So these guys, I said they have their capacity to know system facts. They can tell when they've changed environment. They can tell. They can provide certain placeholders naturally that you don't need to hard code. Those things will not fetch those particular facts that are needed, and then there are several other let's say characteristics or features that most or all configuration management tools have. They can provide template as well. You know, let me say system templates. All right. Now, like I said before, choosing the one, there are many of them, but the choice of the one to use depends on what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and the one that can serve you more, you know. And then, uh, as I have, uh, as we have been taught or we have been informed, there are three popular configuration tools. Three popular configuration tools. We have the Ansible configuration management tools that are Ansible. And that is popular. We have the Puppet, and then we have this guy. So I think at this point you may have come across Ruby. You may have written Ruby scripts. This particular guy is the guy this guy. If you know Ruby, you can handle this guy. They have different ways to operate. They have different, that difference in, but of course they do similar things, but in different ways. In different ways. Okay. For example, this one requires that you have a master puppet. I mean, in a particular location will be the master. Like among all these things now, the master will be installed somewhere, and that master will now replicate, will now be uh, uh, kind enforcing some instructions, enforcing the same conditions with other ones that are not. You know, So there's a page that this is that okay. Um, so here you see you're comparing the most popular. There's a overview of popular tools. So we talk about uh, what's it called now? The the difference or similarities in the way they behave to their scripting language. Some is spelling Ruby. So if you know Ruby, you can use Chef. Amazingly, when I was looking for the meaning of this thing, YAML, I was thinking was some acronym that would begin from something like yard, what. But what I got did not even look like the acronym. It doesn't look like the acronym. It says human readable data serializable language. If you've if you've studied JSON, you've um, paid attention to terms like serialization, what maybe it should make sense to you. Human readable data serializable language. You know. So why this guy uses the very specific language? Because you see their syntax, of course, will not be the same, but similarities are yeah. And that's one people think about LAS. They didn't bring us LAS syntax actually. I've discovered that their concern is not with us learning syntax. It's to understand what really happens, how it happens, how it can be made to happen. So you understand it, then the syntax becomes less job, less work. You now know what you want to do, how you want to do it. And then you simply go for the syntax and know what syntax would I use to achieve this. So the infrastructure, yeah, the infrastructure now, how is it, the kind of setting, I said this like earlier, how that puppet master, and it does performs the synchrony. So assuming that on this my drive here, I have puppet master installed in server one, it will now take all these ones to be the other nodes, and then now make sure that they are on this at the same they are on the same state. They have similar state or the same state based on what you've said or what you've put on the manifest. Okay, but this one has the controller machine that applies what now? That applies configuration to nodes via SSH. That means you don't need to go and do some. It's something similar to this one. So if from the controller machine now you can use secure shell. If some of us have been using some of them. Oh, I'm getting the noise. Is it from me? Oh, okay. Some of us are using SSH to. Okay, by now some of us have used SSH to access our servers. Me now, I use SSH on GitHub right now. When I'm not on my not all the time anyway because of some constraints. I've never used SSH on Windows before, but I could just instead of doing git clone http this. I just copy the SSH git clone, put the SSH and go. It will not ask me for any PAT or anything. Okay. That's basically it. Provides centralized point of control. This one does not have. This one has. This one has. Yeah, look at this. So rather than say files or scripts or this or that, use the language manifest or models. Okay. Very interesting that the task in Puppet does not necessarily execute line by line, perfect line. It does not follow sequence. That's quite interesting. And this is the guy you need to pay more attention to because this is the one I've seen us using so far in LAX. All right, let's make progress. The next thing I want to know at this point, any question, please? Any question? Wow, I've never had this kind of class in my life. Okay. The next thing I want to know is how that they give us an example here. I'll let you go figure that out. Probably, do I have any need to continue? It's just sort of not covered. Puppet links. Puppet links is, of course, we began from using a program called Betty. So if you remember Betty, and then remember Pico style. Remember semi-standard. Which one? So if you remember this is how they do, then Puppet links shouldn't be hard at all for you to understand. just know how to install it, get it installed, and you need to check that your code meets the standard. After all this understanding now, and then next thing you want to learn is what do I want to put in my server? What do I want to configure in my server? How do I do this in real life? How do I do this in real life? You know, what kind of requests should come to the server? What kind of requests should go out of the server? What port should it listen to? What what kind of page should it serve? You know, and things like that. It's called it web infrastructure. We design for different we have different instructions to design to uh, present a pictorial representation of some kind of some web, the way different types of infrastructure will look like, including the secure one. Okay, I think I've covered that, and I will show you one more interesting document that you need to pay attention to if you really want to, because we learn by doing. Mm, mm,
It's not because that time is not like posting all the time. Using their account always. If you are using it, even if you are not, I think I will use online.
Just do it. This challenge is just like you going to study. Um, let's say you're studying C language, not exactly it. You try to study a language, programming language, and how the kind of keywords it has and how they are used. You know, or like you're opening the Linux manual to study about a particular, let's say, command or program. Like you know what it does, the kind of flags it takes, and all of that. So this is it. Just an example that they gave us here, how to install package. So if I want to install a package, that's this. Very grand, please. Okay, let me exit that. So if I want to install a package, let's say, what should I install now? What should I install now? What should I install now? Mm, sudo apt-get uh-uh, install. I don't even know what to install. But the point I'm trying to make is that rather than just do this, die this here, I could automate it. I could make it automatically happen in by using a Puppet manifest, right? Now you know what manifest is. I don't want to say script. I don't want to say file. I could make it happen by using a Puppet manifest, which has the file extension .pp, right? .pp. So and that making it automatic, automating it in that manifest will not look like our bash script that we know. We'll come and do hash exclamation and then user uh, and people that it's got the backlight on them. This way.
Sorry.
Okay, being let's say even if being slash let's say you do start and then bash and then now put the command that is next. No, it rather take another. It has its own format. It has its own format where colibris is coming, where you have to put certain feeds as a string, with single quotes, where you have to put column. Let's an example is also here in the material that we are given to study. Here's the material. No, there was this material. Yeah, that's it. Look at this now. This is installing this particular command being automated inside a Puppet manifest. You can see. So package is the keyword. Puppet. So once you go package, you pass the argument. I'm not sure it's called argument here. You pass what you want to be installed as the package in a string here, and then you end with a column. And of course, you open it like you're writing a function, some JavaScript function or CSS function. You open this curly brace, which will be closed up when you're done. So you state the provider, which in this case is Gem. You know, you state the provider, and then this ensure. I think they could do without it. This ensure is because they want to specify a particular version. I believe so. So if I run, maybe I should run this. I don't have probably in this one in the background, so let me run it. So then, yeah, man, first. Same place. I'll call this I will call this trial dot pp. Okay, I will paste what I copy here. I will arrange. What is happening here? Sorry about that. Did I not copy well?
I thought like you were missing a P, top man. Like you left the P out of package. I don't know.
What? Come again. Come again.
Like there, I saw like was only starting with A C K A P. P was
Oh,
out like package.
okay. Okay. Yes. Something's happening. What is wrong? Okay. Is this the result of trying to copy from my hosts to? I think I've been copying from here now. I've been not this. Okay, let's type it by ourselves. Let's do it. So Vim try that we because the first thing we want to specify is that we are putting in want some package. The package is puppet linked and be stored, and you want to end this with a column, and then down here have now let's see. Okay, then I want to make sure I want to command it to ensure. Okay, what will happen if I don't put the ensure? Let's find out. Provider. What is happening now? Feels like I'm missing something. Provider. R. Gem. Are we good? So let me go and find out what I'm missing. I think it's good. Right. Okay. So we are good, except for the fact that my VI supposed to now have the default configuration, that tab space. So package, this, super lint, comma. Yeah, good. Let's try. Let's now do this to make this executable. And there it is. Fingers crossed. Your script work or not. Package not found. Provider command not found. I don't have general. So what do you mean?
Some syntax error.
Syntax error 93. Okay, unexpected token. What? Oh yeah, debuggers. Let's debug. I felt like I was doing some things where this task space looked like two space, and then the space here. What is it looking for? Must I put the ensure? Okay, let's go back to the file. Package is. I really don't know what I'm getting wrong now. I don't even know. So if you want to help me, help out. Maybe
What about your ensure?
I know what these people are doing. Now we
I did not want to use it,
that's the video that they're not giving
but let's go.
anything.
Let's try using it. So sure.
Maybe I'm interacting with others, liking those comments,
Ensure that you fetches version 1.1.0. Would that be the matter? Okay, answer. Let's roll. Let's roll, man. You're still making the same complaint. Okay, keep complaining. Background of the funny sometimes. Background is refuse to run some of my scripts that are correct. This is background of a man. I don't know. So yeah, since I will try here it will not work, I'll go and try it on Windows to work. Try it on other Linux system to work. I don't know why. For example, I have five coaster here. It's giving me that I'm not able to figure out for. If I'm giving the attention, right? I think I have a Python code here. Look at it. But this guy is just very funny. Sometimes I'll write some Python code that will be running on other systems that will not run here. So that's by the way. But that's basically it, right? So you want to what you want to do now, you want to have a virtual machine that you can maybe in your sandbox experiment there. Try to know what does this keywords, what do they do? You know, what do they do? You know, if you can learn, if you can experiment with 5 to 10 keywords here with examples, maybe use some with example what they do, how you can change owner of a file because this guy uh, has the capacity to determine the owner of the file, you know, change group. And you can make it go to a particular link and download something, you know. So when you understand a few of these commands practically, what they do, how you can use them, then it's cool. It's cool enough because it will equip you to be able to use this guy when you want more complex commands, want to use more keyword. For the fact that you can master 3 to 4 to 5 of them, it means that any of them you are the one that's looking strange when you need it. By the time you start googling to know what you need, you will know that okay, this is the guy I need. It will be easier for you to understand that okay. The next you want to find out is what is the syntax, how you used, and then use it. So that's it for uh, configuration management tools for now. We may we have class, don't have a class this week again. So if I follow my plan, we should spend 3 hours in this class actually, but I'm very sorry it didn't work out that way again. Because I think it's just that I won't be saying here. Yeah. So please, any question? Anyone has something to share to add? Mm. Okay, so if there are no questions at this point, I want to close. I will inform you when the next class or when the next class we hold because this is